Good evening, Patricia. I thought this was the easiest way to deal with the whole question of the crop circles because I can record this, upload it onto YouTube, and then you can click on the link. Because really, it's a bit of a long story, and anyway. Last September, I was asked to go to the conference, the annual conference of the British Society of Dowsers, by the chairman because they'd got lots of problems with the committee, legal problems, and they wanted me as the lawyer there to basically make sure that nothing stupid happened. So I said, yeah, okay, I'll go. I know this lady. So anyway, the major speaker was this woman called Lucy Pringle. Now, Lucy Pringle is the queen of crop circles. She lives down in the West Country where all the crop circles are. And really, for many, many years, she's been the one that's taking the photographs from the helicopters and everything else. And if you Google Lucy Pringle, you'll actually, find her there. Now, the point was that, there's always the question in this country that there were two blokes in the early 90s who said, oh, they're all fake. And of course, that's the general idea. But what's important to realize is that they're all pretty much focused on the area around Stonehenge and Avebury. And of course, these were the old Celtic sites. Now, I'll give you a little pre-story, which was that some years ago I went down with a friend of mine who is clairvoyant, and we went to look at the circles. I wanted to know what she was picking up. So we go into one of these circles, and there is a very annoyed elemental in this, sort of like a nature spirit, who is saying, it's outrageous. We are forest beings, and all the forests have been cleared, and we're still here, and now we have to grow these crops. And we wouldn't mind if they were actually being grown for humans, but they're not. They're all going to be fed to animals. So, we think it's a real insult that that's actually what we have to do. And anyway, this being really went on and on and on and on and on, at bending her ears about, how appalling it all was. And that, was saying, well, we're giving you crop circles because you think there's no intelligence in nature and you're a bunch of stupid idiots. Humans are stupid. Well, I mean, anyway, that raised a whole lot of questions, and then when we didn't actually meet any other elementals on that particular trip because, it was lunchtime, and then, life took over. So anyway, so there's your basic principle, and that on that time, up nearby there is a big sort of like prehistoric or Neolithic, like sort of few hundred BC, burial mound, Bronze Age burial mound, and on the top of there you could see 7 crop circles in the surrounding hills because it was quite high up, and and again, what my clairvoyant friend said, Jennifer, she said, well, it's very clear that the elementals here are basically, what they're saying is, you want magic? We'll show you magic. We'll show you there's intelligence in nature. Because also this is pretty much a center of, I wouldn't call it black magic, but, New Age paganism and all this sorts of thing. So anyway, that was sort of like, like my background on this particular situation. Well, what then happens is, as I say, I go to this meeting, and have this long meet Lucy Pringle, and what she's saying is that there are certain characteristics of these crop circles. The first thing is that they're always on water. There's always underground water. They're on chalk, and basically chalk and with underground water, with what we call aquifers in this country. And that really what you've got is you've got this kind of like co-working of whatever of the elementals, and And the way they seem to be forming is that there are like these, it's the sylphs, these little wind eddies, which are very fast moving and which basically can sort of like make a circle in about 20 seconds. And that therefore, and the formation is very fast because they make these circles very quickly. And anyway, what's sort of been a game changer is that a couple of years ago, this woman came forward who had witnessed something being done, one of these circles being formed in the 1990s. And what she'd seen was that there was kind of like a very strange cloud formation, like mist cloud formation, very low over the field. And it was so unusual that a lot of cars had stopped to watch it because, like, well, what is this? And when she saw this, the crop being formed, the crop circle being formed, and again, it was these wind eddies that were sort of zooming all around this area, kind of creating all these patterns on all these little circles, and it was really as if and this is the way Charlie described it, which he said was that it was like the gnomes sort of like holding onto the roots of these crops, while the sylphs are like flattening the tops. And she said, and that's absolutely kind of like the picture. But the question is, of course, well, who's causing it and what's happening? So the elements, but before we get to that, the point is that it requires the undines involved in this, and that's where the white's always on the water, and then there's this water vapor that sort of seems to be involved also in its formation. So you've got, the gnomes, you could say, holding on to the roots. It can only happen when there's the undines that are there, and that the sylphs are actually kind of like doing the work. But the question is, what's the controlling intelligence? And that's when Lucy Pringles, told a very interesting story. And that was that she was giving a lecture to a group about crop circles. And they decided that what they were going to do is the people in the audience decided that they actually wanted to sort of have a crop circle. So about 25 of them got together, after the meeting, and they